This is Mason Ember Weekly. Tonight, we have a deep dive, plus the deal with the Supreme Court confirmation hearings. And now, here's your host, Mason Ember.
Thank you, Max. Welcome to the show. I'm excited to see you back here this week, and today, no fake outs this time, is our 10th episode of Mason Ember Weekly. Thank you for your support as we make the show. My goal has always been to provide everyone with a bright spot in some of the challenging times we go through, and I hope that you enjoy watching and laughing with us. Now, without further ado, let's get into this week's top stories. Firstly, the confirmation hearings for a seat on the Supreme Court replacing Stephen Breyer is underway for Ketanji Brown Jackson, Biden's Supreme Court nominee. If confirmed, Jackson would become the first black woman ever on the Supreme Court, which is amazing. Now, something I loved in the hearings were how Democrats and Republicans worked together and listened to each other. Just kidding, of course they didn't do that. Senator Ted Cruz at the hearing brought up the children's book, Anti-Racist Baby, and asked Jackson if she believes babies are racist. Here, take a look at the moment.
They include a book called Anti-Racist Baby by Ibram Kendi. And there are portions of this book that I find really quite remarkable. One portion of the book says babies are taught to be racist or anti-racist. There is no neutrality. Do you agree with this book that is being taught with kids that babies are racist?
Yeah, Cruz would have brought a more advanced book, but those were above his reading level. For those who don't know who Ted Cruz is, one, lucky, and two, he's a senator from Texas who has a habit of making a mockery of the Republican Party and getting into arguments with puppets. In other news, gas prices are surging to an all-time high. It's gotten so bad that the next Fast and Furious is going to be using bicycles. Many lawmakers have proposed using stimulus checks to help people pay for gas. It's an interesting idea. But we have to keep in mind, by the end of 2021, the federal government had $23.43 trillion in federal debt. Thousands of college students are like, welcome to the club. Yeah, recently Trump said to Biden, hey, being in millions of dollars of debt was my thing. All right, that was the monologue. We got a great show for you tonight. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Mason Ember Weekly. Max, we have some very exciting news this week. I have officially joined TikTok. Very exciting, very exciting. You can check me out for some cool impressions. I do my Trump impression. My Biden impression will be coming very soon. And yeah, my username is @MasonEmber. Take a look.
Hello, it's me, Donald Trump, your favorite president. Today I want to talk to you about Vladimir Putin. He's done some terrible things, but he's also, he's also done some not so terrible things. He's done a lot of very positive, not terrible things. And I think a lot of people don't like him so much. But he's a wonderful guy. And then there's the invasion. But you know what? I say, we have invasions everywhere. We have invasions in America. Like the invasion of the Capitol, which was an absolutely tremendous invasion. But we condemn it. We condemn it very positively. We condemn it very, very, very much so. We condemn it.
Yep, come visit us on TikTok to get instant access to hundreds of comedic videos. There are only 2 right now. All right, now all across America, we are seeing mask mandates being lifted. It's a pretty big news story right now, and big news stories need big coverage. So it's time for Deep Dive. Okay, in today's deep dive, we discuss mask mandates and weigh liberal and conservative points, and in the end, conclude whether or not this is a good thing. First, let's talk about the science. Many Americans, when asked to mask up, reach for their handy-dandy cloth mask. And even though these masks are reusable, affordable, and can be charming and cute, like in this case where the mask features a delightful picture of a cat who seems to live in what seems to be a piece of cake. That's great and all. But according to the CDC, wearing a cloth mask only lowered the odds of testing positive by 56%, whereas N95 masks lowered the risks by 83 and up to 95%. Big difference. But cloth masks still remain very popular. So if cloth masks aren't that effective in stopping COVID, mask mandates aren't necessary unless everyone is wearing an N95, or double masking with their Pinterest-ready cloth mask. So in this regard, mask mandates are sort of the class president of COVID restrictions. They don't do much, but we're told they're super important. Yes, Johnny, it's very important to pick whether the school dance will have cookies or cupcakes. Yeah, great job, bud. And not to say that mask mandates don't help, but if most people continue to wear cloth masks, it might be better just to remove them so everybody feels more comfortable. I think it's safe to say that COVID has affected all of our lives in some way. Even our jokes. It explains this modification of a classic, "Why'd the chicken cross the road?" Because the chicken behind it wasn't wearing a mask. And I think a lot of people are just tired about having to think about a deadly virus every day. But COVID is still a big part about Americans' daily lives, and masks play a part. You remember early in the pandemic when companies like CBS aired game shows that were taped before the pandemic, during the pandemic? And of course there were no masks or distancing, and it felt weird. Like those shows were taped in a different world. Kind of like watching Home Alone today and thinking the entire story could be resolved in 2 minutes if Kevin had an iPhone, Find My Friends, stuff like that. People are tired of the pandemic because it's going on so long. Kind of like if your friend invites you to their house to watch a movie. You're expecting it to be 2 hours, and then, no, they put on Lord of the Rings. And after each movie you're feeling finished, and then your friend is like, "Here, we'll order some food and watch the other 7 movies. Doesn't that sound like fun? So maybe it's time to move past mask mandates. But you can be sure that I'm keeping my N95 handy. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you next time. I wish you all a good night. Bye, everyone.